Right, well, this conference that was hosted in Granada was for me probably the best conference that I've ever had the pleasure to attend. Everyone was lovely. I learnt a lot. It was wonderful. So partly by way of thanks to all of you, and partly in response to those of you who asked me for the transcript to my vignette, What Have the Muslims Ever Done For Us?, I decided that rather than send you the dry text, I'd make this video instead and send it to all of you. I hope you like it. So, in Monty Python's famous film, The Life of Brian, Reg, the inspirational leader of the Revolutionary Party, the PFJ, the People's Front of Judea, or was it the Popular People's Front of Judea? Oh, well, never mind. Convenes a secret meeting to rally his comrades to overthrow the oppressive and much reviled Roman Empire. And here I shall modify that whole scene by substituting the Muslims for the Romans. So in this alternative scene, Reg obviously now stands for an anti-Muslim Western organisation, though I shall leave it to your imagination as to which one it might be. So, Reg opens the scene by asking rhetorically, the Muslims have taken everything from us, and not just from us, but also from our fathers, and our fathers' fathers, and our fathers' 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 fathers. Yeah, all right. And our fathers' 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 fathers. Yeah, all right, Stan. Don't labour the point. And what have the Muslims ever given us in return? The Naraya. What? You know, Reg, the Naraya. The huge water wheels that lift water up into the aqueducts. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, they did give us that. It's true. Yeah. And the sanitation. Oh, yeah, the sanitation, Reg. You know what Europe used to be like? Yeah, all right. I grant you, the Naraya and sanitation are two things that the Muslims have given us. Yeah, and astronomy. Yeah, well, obviously astronomy. I mean, the Muslims are always plotting the position of the stars to carry on their incessant praying to Allah. But apart from the Naraya, sanitation and astronomy, windmills and watermills. Yeah, don't forget, Reg, all the new irrigation techniques which have been great here in the heat of Al-Andalusian Spain, they've been a boon. And don't forget mathematics. It was the Muslims who developed trigonometry, geometry and algebra, with the term algebra being the translation of the title of Al-Khwarizmi's book Al-Jabr wal Maqala, given that algebra was translated as algebra and that Al-Khwarizmi's name was translated as algorithmi, hence the term algorithm. And his work in turn was taken further by the likes of Al-Buzajani and Al-Kindi. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Muslims did bring all of this to Europe when we were busy messing around with the abacus. Gee, I never did like the abacus. And what about mercantile capitalism, Reg? Don't forget that the Prophet Muhammad had been a Kirad trader for much of his life, and that his wife was rich, and that she came from the Meccan tribe of the Quraysh, which had grown rich from caravan trade and banking. Let's be honest, Reg, without all this and the institutions that went along with long-distance trade, we'd all still be in the Dark Ages here in Europe. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Can't argue with that one. Yeah, and law and order. You got to admit, Reg, the Muslims certainly know how to keep order. They're the only ones who could in a place like this. And let's be honest, it's been a lot more peaceful since the Muslims arrived here in Spain in 711. You can walk the streets safe at night now, and under Muslim rule here in Al-Andalusian Spain, us Christians can get along just fine with the Muslims and the Jews. Yeah, that's right. So, after a whole series of similarly awkward and increasingly rowdy interventions, Reg might have finished his rallying speech with the words, all right, apart from the Naraya, windmills, watermills, irrigation techniques that spurred on agriculture and manufacturing in Europe, as well as commandant partnerships, bills of exchange and checks, credit institutions, insurance and banking, all of which stimulated early capitalism in Europe and Afro-Eurasian regionalisation, as well as trigonometry, geometry and algebra, medicine and anaesthetics, public health and hygiene, philosophy and theology, literature and poetry, an optical revolution, astrology, astronomy and geography, all of which helped the European Renaissance. Not to mention science and the experimental method that helped shape the European scientific revolution, as well as cartography, navigational techniques and technologies, including the astrolabe, lunar and solar calendars, longitude and latitude tables, the Latin sail, all of which helped make possible the European voyage of discovery, in the absence of which the Europeans would have been confined to sailing within the Islamic Mediterranean. And Last but not least, the creation of an Afro-Eurasian economy that linked Europe into the mainstream of Afro-Asian trade, and later the creation of the first global economy after 1492 that delivered not only a vibrant stream of Eastern trade, but, more importantly, the many Asian inventions, institutions, ideas, technologies, production techniques, and a list of foods and agriculture and manufacturing products far too numerous to list here. Apart from all of that, what have the Muslims ever done for us?